If a little green is good, more is even better. Now, back to Green is Good with John Shigarian and Mike Brady.
Welcome back to Green is Good, and we're so honored today to have Leslie on the phone with us. Leslie's the Executive Director of Earth Hour US, which is a global event taking place on March 27th, 2010, where tens of millions of people around the world get involved with the issues of climate change. Leslie's a fascinating person. She's also involved with the World Wildlife Foundation. Leslie, welcome to Green is Good, and tell us about what Earth Hour is doing on March 27th, 2010.
Well, what we're trying to do is we're getting people all around the world and all across the United States to turn off their lights for 1 hour. The purpose is to send a message of that the world wants action on climate change and that we need to do things right away to save our planet. So it's a fun event, it's a hopeful event, and we hope that all the people in your listening area will take part.
Well, wait a second now. Our listening area actually is the Clear Channel Radio Network and actually Apple iTunes, so a lot of people are going to hear this. My son read all about what you were doing last year and made us participate. How many years have you been doing this, and how did it start?
This is the third year we're going to be doing Earth Hour here in the U.S. It actually got started 4 years ago in Sydney, Australia. The World Wildlife Fund team down there said, hey, we need to raise greater awareness about the issue of climate change. And they thought they'd have just sort of a fun little event down there. Well, it went beyond their wildest imaginations. The whole city of Sydney, Australia turned their lights out. In fact, most of the people of Australia got involved. And it was such a big success that we brought it to the United States. This is going to be our third year. And last year we had 80 million people across the country participate in Earth Hour. So we're really getting excited about it.
And if I remember the news reports from last year, the Empire State Building, the Brooklyn Bridge, the Las Vegas Strip, and the list goes on and on with these unbelievably iconic and famous landmarks that you had turned the lights off. What does that mean? And explain the nexus of what you're doing and how it benefits the sustainability movement and the World Wildlife Foundation.
Absolutely, and it's the World Wildlife Fund, WWF.
Fun. So, thank you.
What's great about Earth Hours, it's fun, it's symbolic, and it's really it's not political. It encourages people and individuals and businesses and all sorts of organizations to get involved and really have a conversation about climate change in a very instructive, fun, non-political way. All across America, we're going to try to get participation in all 50 states. And the idea is that when you turn off your lights for 1 hour, you're sending a message that you want action on climate change. And you're also saying, hey, you know what, I want to switch off the lights on some things that aren't so good. I'd like to switch off the lights on, pollution. Maybe we can switch off the lights on dependence on foreign oil, all sorts of things. We want to, make a switch really to a cleaner, safer, more prosperous world. And that's what Earth Hour is about. It's really a bold statement about, sending a clear message for action. One of the things we found out in the past is that one of the things Americans really liked about this event is they felt connected to people all around the world. Earth Hour actually starts in New Zealand. They're almost 23 hours away from the east coast of the United States. And it's a bit like New Year's Eve. They turn their lights off in New Zealand. They turn their lights off in Australia, China, all around the planet until we get to the U.S. And then the final place where the lights will go out in the United States will be in Hawaii. So, and it's kind of exciting when you think about it. It kind of gives me a little thrill to think that a mom in Beijing might turn off the lights, or a company in Africa might turn off the lights, or a school in California might turn off the lights. That all around the world, all these people are of the same idea, the same mindset, and want the same things: a clean, healthy, safe future.
Well, let's give a shout out because I messed up the name. What is the URL that you want to send our listeners to learn? To keep learning and to get part of this movement?
www.earthhour.org. That's our website, and you can go online, and it's really cool. You can sign up and say what you're going to be doing for Earth Hour, and you can, through Facebook or Twitter, you can get your friends to sign up. Already we have something in the neighborhood of 30,000 people have signed up and said they're going to take part, and we've still got 4 weeks to go.
Oh, that is awesome. And then also for the WWF, what is the URL for WWF?
worldwildlife.org.
Okay.
With the largest conservation organization in the world. We've been working to save the planet for about 50 years now.
Wow.
And a lot of people ask us, what does climate change really have to do with the mission of the World Wildlife Fund? Well, when you think about it, the habitat of the animals we care about is the planet. And if we don't take good care of our planet, well, a lot of animals are at risk all around the world. We just had a report that, we're predicting climate change in particular, for example, is going to impact tigers. This is the year of the tiger. And we're seeing, rising sea levels are threatening huge swaths of tiger habitat all around the world. So, if you care about animals, Earth Hour is a great way to demonstrate that. If you're worried about our planet, it's a great way to demonstrate that. Heck, if you just want to save some energy, I don't care whether you're a red state or blue state. It's smart to save energy, right?
Well, like you said, it's non-political. And when you're talking about saving animals, I can think of an animal species I'm particularly fond of, and that's the human animal. Yeah. We're taking care of ourselves, too. What is very cool about your site, too, and I'm on it right now, Leslie, it's, again, if someone's listening right now and they've got their laptop and they'd like to check it out and follow along, it's www.earthhour.org. Takes you right to the homepage, and there's a Mercator projection type of map, and it looks really cool. And I'm just going to ask you a question because I haven't delved into it too deeply yet, Leslie, but I'm thinking that when March 27th rolls around and Earth Hour actually starts, you'll be able to track it on the map and watch a visual representation, correct?
Yes, that's right. You'll be able to watch, you'll be able to see pictures, and you'll be able to see the map itself get darker and change colors as more and more people sign up. And, it's really a great place to learn about the event and to provide more information and to, share it with your friends.
Wow. And so wait a second now. You wear two hats on a regular basis, as, with Earth Hour and with World Wildlife.
They both have a panda on them, but yes, that's
very nice.
So how many Leslies are there around the world doing what you're doing to get their continent or country into this whole great movement?
We had I think we've got maybe over 100 countries taking part over this year.
Wow.
And it's really exciting because when you look around the planet and you see all that's going on, as I said, just this idea that all of us care about this and that we're sending this message. When you look at the things that the lights that we turned off in the past years, as we turned off the Gateway Arch and the Great Pyramids and the Parthenon in Athens and St. Peter's Basilica and the Vatican and Big Ben and Eiffel Tower and Beijing, the Bird's Nest. These are all, iconic buildings all around the world that people, they're so beautiful, and the lights are part of what makes them special. And when you turn out those lights, you're saying, you know what, we care about our planet. We really want action on this. So that'd be awe. One of my favorite stories about Earth Hour and what I love about the event is that people really take it and make it their own. And a couple of years ago when we first were getting started here in the U.S., I was saying, oh, gosh, how are we going to do this? How are we going to get all these lights off? And I got this phone call from this lady, and she said, I live in New York City, and I think you should turn the lights off at the Empire State Building. And I said, lady, I'm really busy. I'm doing all this. Why don't you turn the lights off the Empire State Building? And you could have knocked me over with a feather. There we were, Earth Hour, turning on. All the lights are going off around the world, and there was a picture of New York City and Manhattan, and the lights went off in the Empire State Building.
Now, Leslie,
lady, I don't even know who she is.
Well, wait a second.
Got the lights up.
Okay, so now, thank you to that lady out there. But that's what we were Mike and I were wondering, who makes the call to the Vatican saying, hey, we're doing this thing, and can you just tonight, can you hit the lights? Who makes all these calls, and how does and tell us about some of how what the responses are when you make these calls.
Well, the Global Earth Hour team, we've got people from WWF in all different countries, and they look around and they say, hey, who can turn off the lights? And it's interesting because, when you first, sometimes people say, I don't know how to turn off the lights, or it's going to cause a power surge, or what's going to happen. And no, it's not going to cause a power surge. It's not going to crash your we work very closely with the municipal power companies because we don't want anything bad. And we also want people to be very careful what they do in the dark because we don't want people to have, Candles, we want people to operate very safely, so we don't want any Earth Hour tragedies. We want it to be very positive and upbeat, so please operate safely, everyone. But yeah, we call people and we call organizations and we talk to them, and people get really excited about it. And when you see building, if people say, I don't know if we can turn off the lights, and I say to them, you know what? If the Las Vegas Strip can go dark, I bet you can turn off the lights in your building. What do you think?
Betcha.
If Christ the Redeemer in Rio de Janeiro can go dark, everything else can go dark, right?
Yeah, well, we've got some new buildings this year that we're really excited about.
Tell us about the new ones.
We've got Mount Rushmore going dark. That's new.
Oh, my gosh. That's awesome.
We've got the Seattle Space Needle. SeaWorld is turning off some of its non-essential lighting.
Man.
We got a lot of states signing up. I can't list them all just yet, but because we haven't announced them, but we're looking for lights to go out in all 50 states. And I urge your listeners, Earth Hour isn't just from the World Wildlife Fund. Lots of community groups have gone out and made it their own and asked their mayors to turn off the lights on City Hall, or you can Earth Hour's open source in the greatest possible sense. We want everybody to feel part of it, and that they can take action, whatever that means for them.
So the young kids out there, for the next generation listening, who are on Facebook and on Twitter, are you on those too, so they can register using those social networking tools?
Absolutely. You can get to Earth Hour through Facebook, through Twitter. There's videos on YouTube. I mean, we're very much out there. We're going to be. You can sign up and have a text message sent to your phone reminding you to turn off for Earth Hour. We're very much in the social network. And the funny thing about some of these things is we didn't start them; they were started by fans of ours, and so that's the kind of way that people kind of take hold of this thing. Kids have a lot of fun, and grown-ups do too. Lots of creative things you can do when the lights go out.
Well, one of the things that's very cool again, and I'm just having so much fun with your site right now. Really, Leslie, is just there's a map of the United States, so I'm just going at random. Okay, right now the cursor's on Wyoming. Some of the most recent people who've signed up: Dakota, who has signed up. She lives in Gillette. Lizzie from Jackson, and also Mark from Jackson. Those are just 3 people in Wyoming taking this to a very personal level. In our own state of California, Laura in Chico signed up on the 4th of February. Also, Claudia from Redondo Beach. Let's go to South Carolina. There's Eileen from Greer, South Carolina, from Rock Hill. Holly signed up. Nancy, who lives in Anderson. So it's very cool to just see not only the municipalities, but people on a very individual basis deciding that they're going to take part in their own sphere of influence in their own homes or apartments, turning out the lights.
That's exactly right. And if you go to the bottom of the website, you can see where you can invite your friends, you can spread the word, you can share on Facebook, you can tweet, you can plan an event, all sorts of great things that people can do to make this really their own. People, in the past, we've had hot yoga classes in the dark, we've had special church services in the dark, people have had, where community groups get together and talk about issues, all kinds of things. We even have weddings. People have even gotten married during Earth Hour, no kidding, with the lights out. So
now, what's your goal? Like, it's great to give the listeners what to do, and you've done a brilliant job of that. What's your goal and the WWF's goal here, so we can motivate our listeners to get involved and make it, like you say, organic and get others involved? What is the real goal here for us to do in terms of, is there any fundraising goals for us to achieve, or is there anything else that our listeners can grab onto?
No, we don't want to raise any money for Earth Hour. Earth Hour is about what we want people to do. It's really simple. We want people to commit to turn off their lights. We want them to go onto the website, sign up, say they're going to turn off the lights. We want them to spread the word with their friends and their neighbors and their churches and all sorts of different organizations. And then we want them to, we just want to make as many lights go out as possible, because you know what? There is nothing like the power of people taking action and demonstrating that they want action to motivate our leaders through, whether it's our mayor or whoever, to take action. And we want to remind everybody that we do really care about this stuff. We care about the future of our planet. So, join the movement, go to the website, sign up, get your friends to sign up, and then send us your pictures and tell us what you're going to do for Earth Hour. Tell us your great stories. And
tell the listeners the time wherever they sit. What is the time that Earth Hour is supposed to happen where they're sitting?
It is local time, March 27th at 8:30 p.m. wherever you are. I don't care if you're in Sydney, Australia, or you're in Redondo Beach, California. At 8:30 local time, turn off the lights for 1 hour. Earth Hour.
And then where are you going to be? I want to know where you're going to be.
Ooh, where am I going to be? I haven't decided yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking about Mount Rushmore. I think that'd be kind of neat. But then I think, right here in my own house with my own kids and my own husband, that could be a lot of fun too.
Okay, and so what iconic landmark haven't you gotten yet that you're still working on that you're allowed to talk about?
Oh,
Is there such a thing? I can think of a couple, but I just want to know what you're working on.
I got some goals. I got some dreams. It's always good to dream.
Yeah.
I'd love to see some state capitals go dark.
Okay.
California would be wonderful.
Okay.
We'd really love it if the governor would participate. And I just I don't want to jinx it, but think about some of the most prominent buildings in America, and think about the buildings that represent America to the rest of the world.
Leslie, if I may talk for just a second, I'm thinking maybe you've hit something, and I could save with our budget crisis in the state of California. Maybe I could save us a couple of bucks if maybe we do this in Sacramento on Earth Hour, 8:30, March the 27th. What do you think?
I think that would be lovely. One of the best things that's come out of Earth Hour in the past is cities who have said, you know what, God, we turned off the lights. Hey, we should do this more often. And they do find out that they save money. So I certainly hope that we would love it if the governor or the assembly would participate.
We would love that too, and we'll help any way we can. Were you referring a little while ago, without giving up any national security issues or anything, were you referring to maybe the big house on Pennsylvania Avenue, maybe?
That's the dream. I'm not saying the dream has any basis in reality, but I always think it's good to get to aim big. And we certainly have the most progressive president on climate issues that we've had for quite a number of years. I do always like to remind people think of the environmental issues as being issues that Democrats, but they're not. World Wildlife Fund was founded by Republicans during the Nixon administration. So the caring about our planet and caring about the future of our world and the world we're going to live for our kids, that's an issue for everyone.
And Leslie, I think more and more people are starting to really get that it is really not, even though the issue has been politicized and demonized in the past, it's really way beyond that. It is a human issue.
And Leslie, we do have some time, so can you give a shout out and give a little explanation to our interested listeners on what when you're wearing your World Wildlife hat, why, and what goes on there? Because you've got so much energy and passion, it's just infectious. What do you do over there, and what's their mission and goals, and how can our listeners get involved there also?
Well, World Wildlife Fund is one of the largest environmental organizations, conservation organizations in the world. We work in over 100 countries, and we're there trying to save the habitats of all of the most iconic species that all of us care about. Open up a box of animal crackers and look at all those animals. You know how many of those animals we're in danger of losing? We're talking about rhinos and tigers and elephants. These are animals that we grew up with and that we somehow take for granted. But in the wild, they're increasingly at risk, and we do a lot of work to try to save those species throughout the world. So we're excited to be part of an event like Earth Hour because it really does help make a difference in saving the species and saving their habitats all around the world. Again, we work in 100 countries. We've got 5 million members worldwide. And we're all about preserving the diversity and abundance of life on Earth and halting the degradation of the environment. You can go to worldwildlife.org to become a member. If you want to adopt a particular animal species, we have a wonderful program where for a really great, kids get Christmas presents and birthday presents, and sometimes it's a lot of junk. And I don't know about you, I've got boxes of kid junk all over my house. But what a great gift to go online and adopt an animal and send that to a young person for a birthday or a special occasion. It's a lot more meaningful than kind of all the plastic stuff that gathers dust in our homes.
And again, for our young listeners, is World Wildlife also, besides worldwildlife.org, are you on Facebook and some of the other social media?
Absolutely. We have a lot of Facebook followers. We're big out in the blogosphere and in online areas. And, we're all kinds of great information. If you care about animals and you care about species and habitats and places all around the world, if you go on our website, there is a tremendous amount of information. And,
just
young
wonderful.
people are really the ones who get excited about this, right? They're the ones who remind us that we need to take care of our planet for them.
I mean, you wear two amazing hats, and I mean, your energy, like I said, is infectious, and Mike and I are sitting here and we're blown away. Tell our listeners a little bit, for those who are interested in becoming part of the green revolution and the sustainability movement, how does someone become the next Leslie? How do our young listeners in college and younger, or who want to switch careers now, how do they become part of this movement, and how did you become part of this movement?
Well, I began my career as a journalist and a radio reporter, so there you go. There's
no wonder. We're on to you now, Leslie.
And I worked. It's real interesting. When I used to get up and go to work in the morning, when I worked in corporate America, my husband would say, "Hey, honey, go out and make $1 million." Today, my husband says, "Honey, go out and save the world." And you know what? There is no better. No better job. There's no better responsibility than you can have to be given that opportunity to make a difference. My kids know what I do now. I think they think I turn off lights sort of generally around the world.
You're the
career
cool
move. I'm not sure that's the best career move.
I think you're the cool mom at school, though.
Yeah, well, your kids never do really think you're cool. I got to say, Earth Hour is the one time in my life where my preteens thought I was kind of sort of cool.
Yeah, you're saving the world. Mom's saving the world. That's really cool.
My mom's off saving the world today. So we do a lot of things. WWF does a lot in markets, trying to make sure that people are making good choices when they buy wood from companies like Walmart and Pottery Barn, that they're using sustainably grown wood and fiber, because we need to save our forests so we can keep our CO2 emissions down and keep our air clean. We want to make sure that we're eating seafood that comes from sustainably harvest. We don't want to overfish our waters. So we work a lot with helping to educate people on the good choices that they can make, and working with companies. We want to make it easy for consumers. When you walk into the store, we don't want you to have to decide whether is this a good product or a bad product. We want you to we want it all to be good. We want all of it to be sustainable.
That's Leslie, that's what Mike and I are here for, just to help educate our listeners, and you've done a brilliant job today. And I want to give one more shout out. March 27th at your local time, March 27th, 2010, 8:30 p.m. local. Come and be part of the Earth Hour movement, www.earthhour.org. Leslie, you are living proof that green is good.